What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Blab. I appreciate you stopping by. Without further ado, let's blab. Before we hop into it, get on the ground floor of Blab, hit that subscribe button. We did just surpass 300 subscribers. I appreciate you all. So let's get into it. Pokemon is going to increase their MSRP pricing. They've done it before. They will do it again. I do think there's some interesting history here. I do also think that there is evidence that they are going to increase the MSRP very, very soon. So let's just hop into it. Right now, this is a great picture on Pokemon Center, right? We got the current era, the Mega Era. We got the previous era, which is kind of crazy to say. The previous era, Scarlet and Violet, sometimes still feels like we're in Scarlet and Violet because there's so much chatter about it. And then the era before that, Sword and Shield. So we can see there was no increase from MSRP in Scarlet and Violet, and then the Mega Era, right? $161.64, $4.49 a pack. However, previous to the Scarlet and Violet era, it was $143.64, as we can see in the Sword and Shield booster box on Pokemon Center. So that is $3.99 a pack. So we increased from $3.99 a pack to $4.49 a pack. I do believe, obviously, they're going to increase it at some point. It's really, the question is, when is that point? I do think that they will most likely increase it to a minimum of $5, which would be a $180 retail booster box. But with a jump from $143 to $161, a couple of years ago, I think that the jump is going to be bigger, right? So if we're at, say, $5.49 a booster pack times 36 packs, that's $197.64. I could see them certainly doing that. It's still under that $200 threshold, and I think people will still absorb it. Can boxes fall all the way back down to MSRP, under MSRP? Sure. But what are people going to think when you were buying Surging Sparks booster boxes, like I'm buying Surging Sparks booster boxes at $220, $230, $240, when the MSRP price for a new booster box is $197.64 plus tax and shipping? Like, plus tax and shipping on $5.49 packs times 36, $197.64 plus tax and shipping, you're looking at $220. $220, $225 just coming out on Pokemon Center. How are people going to feel about Scarlet and Violet products that are $200, $250? I get it. The whole market could fall and we go, under MSRP, well under MSRP. But I don't know, guys. For me personally, does anyone talk about MSRP from Sun and Moon XY? No, not really. And that got me thinking, what was the MSRP in Sun and Moon and XY? So if you scroll back a couple of pages, here we have XY, Flashfire, Phantom Forces, even Roaring Skies. It looks like these are $143.64. So all the way back, we're looking like a decade ago now. It was $143.64, right? Which is $4.49 a pack, all the way up through Sword and Shield, $143.64. And then after this COVID boom, after this big boom, everyone's into Pokemon, they increased the price, right? They increased to $161.64. Now that we have another big boom, do you not think they're going to increase it again? And I'm just, maybe we got away with it in the Mega Era. They didn't have they planned stuff 8-10 months in advance. I think that's the rumor, right? Let's call it a year in advance. Maybe I don't know, after the 30th anniversary, you really think we're not going to get an MSRP price increase? Well, shout out to PokeNotify. They did just state, apparently, GameStop is increasing the retail price. Now, we already knew that GameStop is, 10, 15, 20% over the Pokemon Center MSRP pricing, right? We know that. Maybe even 25%, right? But they're now at $239.99 retail price at GameStop for Mega Evolutions. Shout out to PokeNotify again. This was 2 days ago. Now 9 hours ago, it's going to be the same thing for Phantasmal Flames, $239.99. So I believe that very shortly, probably around the 30th anniversary, which is not super shortly, but in the shorter term, look how long it took them to go from 144-ish to 161, like a decade, right? I think we're going to get this increase way, way, way sooner. So when the MSRP pricing, which I think is going to be $5.49 a pack, which gets us to $197.64, when we're there, plus tax and shipping, I think people are going to look at GameStop and be like, again, they're 10, 20% above the MSRP pricing. So that's what I think is coming. I think that the current market would absorb it. Yes, people are not doubling, tripling their money overnight. Yes, we are in a little bit of what I call a lull in the market, not a downturn. We're not going to nothing. We're in a little bit of a lull, which is good, which is healthy. It's good to trade sideways. but people would buy new boxes at $200 a box, right? $220. They'll buy them. So Pokemon knows that they can put them at that MSRP price. And that's why I believe they'll do it. On top of the fact that they increased it after the COVID boom, and I think this is another, dare I say, more organic boom. But in about a year from when the boom begins, they're going to look at it and say, the market will absorb this. A lot of people are talking about, they're going to print booster boxes to the ground. They're going to print all of these things to the ground. They don't necessarily need to print them to the ground if they simply increase the increase the price. Gosh, getting me flustered. Anyway, that's what I think is going to happen. I think that a lot of these products may continue to be scalped. People are still going to want them. But instead of necessarily dropping more product, which they will do, they'll restock, they'll do all these things, they can increase the MSRP price. Because that's what's being left on the table right now. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.